Hello. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Anisha, but you can call me Niche. I'm a marketer in big tech, but I am also the host of the Chroma Radio podcast and the creator of the Chroma Network, which is an online platform for multifaceted women of color seeking true growth from the inside out. If you're new here, I hope that you subscribe for more image, well-being, and career-based content because we are getting into all of it. And today's video is about budget-friendly maintenance. Yes, if you're here, if you're watching this video, then you are probably in the same boat as I am, in that you enjoy looking nice, you enjoy looking polished, and you take pride in your appearance. And there is nothing wrong with that, okay? Listen to me. I applaud you. I do because it's important. And don't let anyone tell you that it's not. So I was reading the book Women with Money by Jean Chatzky, and she makes some really important points that I think a lot of women should take into account. One thing that she mentions is that we as women are taught that some of our expenses or some of our spending habits, especially as it relates to beauty and maintenance, are trivial, or they're something that we should cut out of our lives completely so that we can save money. And while there is some truth to it, I think it's definitely important to acknowledge that this is not 100% true, in that there is some value in spending on these things. It can be the emotional gain that you get when you see how nice you look after you get your hair done, or how relaxed and pampered you feel after you get your nails done, or you get a facial, or you get a massage. Maybe that time is your escape period from the drudgery of your everyday life, whether it's your coworkers, your friends. Maybe you just need something that allows you to escape and just focus on you. And spending money on maintenance is that thing that provides you with that. These things aren't a waste of money, cut and dry, because there is a form of emotional value that it brings to women. So I think that saying to cut it out cold turkey might not necessarily be the right approach. And of course, I'm still very new to my personal finance and financial growth journey. But what I will say is that while I don't think that this is something that you need to cut out cold turkey, I also do think that it's important to have a think about your goals, whether that's your short-term goals or your long-term goals. Honestly, I think it's important to consider both and think about where your maintenance routine fits into all of that. Is it pushing you forward? Is it not affecting you? Is it holding you back? And from there, I think there is some room to make some adjustments. For a lot of us, some of our biggest places where we spend are on non-essential. So that could be maintenance, dining out. And because these things aren't essential, they're the easiest to tweak and the easiest to cut back on because they're not things that we need. They're just things that we enjoy doing and that make us feel good. So again, not saying you need to cut everything out and go cold turkey, but I am saying that there are places where maybe there is some room to tweak. Maybe there is space for making adjustments. And I think that the tips that I'm going to share in this video can help you figure out what those are. So if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, if you're curious about finding workarounds, tweaks, getting similar results for less money, keep on watching. So the first area is hair. And this is assuming that you have textured hair. That's going to be relevant to the tips that I'm sharing. Stylist fees can be hefty. And they do add up if you're on a bi-weekly schedule or even a weekly schedule. It's expensive. If this is an area that you feel maybe you want to cut back on, I think it's a great idea to find low maintenance styles that you can manage on your own. You want to find things that work for your specific hair type or whatever way that you tend to wear your hair the most. I think that braided styles, updos can be a great option. If you want something more advanced, you can try a twist out or a braid out. And then if you want to take it a step further, I think some good options that look pretty natural and probably are easier to maintain are clip-ins. Then there are U-part wigs that match your hair texture, whether that's kinky straight or your natural curl pattern. You can find a great solution that's going to help you add that length and that volume that you might desire without having to go to the salon as often. The reason why I mentioned kinky straight and those curly textures is because it helps you to avoid doing all the touch-ups with the heat, which can lead to heat damage. And they're just much easier to blend and maintain. I think you can kind of take care of them in a similar way that you would take care of your own hair, which is why it kind of alleviates those visits to the stylist all the time. But at the end of the day, your preference, your discretion, pick what you think will work best for you and how you like to style your hair. Me personally, I try to see my stylist every month and a half to 3 months just so I can stay on top of my trim schedule. Obviously, she's the bomb and I would love to see her like weekly, bi-weekly, but it's not necessarily in the budget right now. So I just try my best to stick on top of my trim schedule. But I'm working towards that regular goal because there's just no feeling like having your hair done. I can kind of cut back on everything else, whether that's like nails, lashes, like things like that. I could skip, but the hair, that's important. So I'm working towards my bi-weekly visits. Next up is skin. I think we'd all love to be in a place where we could just go to the esthetician all the time and get regular facials, regular peels, dermaplaning, whatever. But that's not always feasible. With a lot of spas charging in the hundreds for a visit plus add-ons, the cost can get pretty daunting, to say the least. But I will never downplay the importance of skincare. Like, that's your face, your moneymaker. I'm not gonna act like it's not important to have good skin, but we can achieve healthy skin at home. If we can create a good base for ourselves, finding the products that work best for us and our needs, we can still take the steps to have healthy skin without having to consistently go and fork out hundreds of dollars on a facial. But I do think facials are important. But this is just a workaround. I'll start by recommending that you research and invest. One thing that I've come to realize is that good things do not come cheap. And that's okay because I don't think that you should be cutting corners with your face. Like, you can't hide your face if things go awry. It's very hard. Unless you want to wear a ski mask, that's up to you. But I'm just saying that it might be important that you spend a bit more on good quality products, brands that really research their formulations and put together things that get the job done. Not saying that you need to spend La Mer money, but you do want to make sure that the company that you're buying from has a good track record and can help push you towards your goal. It's not necessarily about the packaging, more about the formulation and what it can do for you and your goals. If you're really lost, honestly, even if you're not lost, I think it's really worth going to a licensed esthetician or even a dermatologist. There are apps that can do this for you, but I don't think there's anything comparable to seeing a licensed professional in person where they can actually take a close look at your skin, evaluate what it needs, identify any potential issues that you might have, and give you recommendations based on that. I do think there is value in that over an app or a virtual consultation, even though they can be effective. I would recommend seeking out a professional. Skincare, after all, is a science. All of these products, all the chemicals that are involved, that's chemistry, and you want someone who understands that and can give you an educated and informed recommendation versus doing all the guesstimation. Next, we're going to get into body. So first, let's talk about hair removal because that's important. I think that I might be waxing's biggest hater. Sorry, I had to say it. I tried it and I want to love it. And if I do have an emergency, a big event coming up, I'd probably definitely do it again. But I'm just like, why are we paying hundreds of dollars for someone to physically abuse us? Like, it hurts. It hurts. So where I'm at in life, I think I'm just going to save up and just invest in a laser package and just be done with it. I know that that probably also hurts, but at least I don't have to keep going back as often. So that's where I'm at, but that's neither here nor there. I would say if you have a lower pain tolerance and you don't have any big events coming up, or this is just your preference, I think there are some like really good quality body hair trimmers that you can use, which will also help with ingrowns because you're not necessarily taking the hair out from the root. You're just cutting it lower. So that can help to mitigate some of the hair bumps and razor bumps all of that. Then there are also hair removing creams. I haven't really had any major issues with like burns or irritation, but obviously you want to check with a professional, make sure that can work for you. And definitely, as I said, consult a professional or do a patch test before you use those products on your skin. Next up, we have moisture and glow. So I feel like after you take care of the hair removal, if that's something that you're interested in, I personally like a good body oil. I think that after you put on lotion or even if you put it on wet skin, body oils can do amazing things for your skin in terms of softness, hydration, the glow. Well, not really hydration because oils kind of seal in hydration, but you get. I like the Kiehl's Creme de Corps body oil because it's lightweight, it's not greasy, and it just makes your skin look amazing, especially in the summertime if you're wearing tank top, shorts. I love this oil. And then the lotion, there's a lotion counterpart, the Kiehl's Creme de Corps body lotion or body butter. I just don't think there's a better one. There's no competition. I've tried multiple lotions. It just is not the same. Like it can be good, but the Kiehl's is just great. So even though it's a bit pricier, Kiehl's often has sales, coupons, and you can also usually find it in maybe your local Nordstrom rack. That's where I found it in the past. So I would recommend looking into Kiehl's for your body care products. Next up, we have lashes. I love a lash extension. If it's like a natural classic mascara set, I think lash extensions just always give you that pop. It's the closest thing to I woke up like this. Like it just gives you that pop, but they're expensive. If you're going to someone reputable, which I highly recommend because it's your eye, you're probably going to be going 2 to 3 times a month. 3 is kind of a push. Let's say twice or one to 2 times a month, depending on your lash growth cycle, how often they fall out, how much you need to fill, what have you. That's going to be $100 minimum per visit, and that's if you're just getting a basic set. And when I say minimum, I really mean minimum. Like it's unlikely that that's going to be the cost, and then you have to go back for fills. So it's going to add up, especially if you want the volume, the extras, the length. Like it's going to add up. I was obsessed with my lash extensions, but I was just looking at how much I was spending, and I knew the cost just wasn't ideal for me. And that's when I discovered Latisse. Obviously, Latisse is a prescription grade lash growth product, so I would recommend speaking to a doctor. I guess I don't know if it's like your dermatologist or your ophthalmologist. Yes, speak to a professional just to get a consultation or another POV before you jump into that. But I've been using it for a bit over a month now. I haven't had any problems. I can't give the full review because they do say that it takes around 2 months for you to see the full results, but I do feel like my lashes are starting to look a bit more full and a bit more similar to my lash extensions. So I'm going to keep using it, see how it goes. And once I feel like it's working, I can maybe give a bit of a review. But the good thing about Latisse from a financial standpoint is that because it is prescription grade, it does qualify for payment through your HSA or your health savings account. So that can also help offset some of those after-tax expenses. So that's one reason why I advocate for the product. Then we have nails. One thing I will say about this period that we're in is that it has turned many of us into nail techs. Okay, I've been seeing some things, some artwork, some gel X, all this DIY stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. Definitely made me get into it. I've been trying DIY gel manicure, which is what I am now. I've tried the Kiara Sky Jelly Tips, which is a gel X type thing. I've tried the nail stickers, press on. I tried everything. But what's working for me now is the at-home gel mani, and then I also love Dazzle Dry. So Dazzle Dry is a long-lasting nail polish that was formulated by a chemist. So it's marketed to last up to 2 weeks. My personal experience has been 1 week, but for a nail polish that you don't need to soak off, you can just take it off with nail polish remover. I think that's amazing performance, and it comes in a variety of different colors. It does cost $20 a bottle, which is a bit more expensive, especially if you're used to paying like $10 to $12, but I do think it's worth it, and it's a lot healthier for your nails than say an acrylic or any other chemical material. And then I also like the Kiara Sky Jelly Tip. That one is a bit more aggressive if you're thinking about the health of your nails, but that's the closest thing. If you love tips, if you love extensions, I think that's a great route to go. It's very easy to remove. I think the nail itself is also gel based, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it's very easy to remove, and that's probably the closest I've gotten to that fresh out of the salon look if you do love an extension. So I'd recommend those two products. They have every shape, coffin, almond, stiletto, square, lengths, they got options for you. And Kiara Sky is also very good for just gel polish, nail tools, the whole nine. So I would definitely look into that if you're interested. But thank you for tuning in. Those are all of my tips for budget-friendly maintenance. I hope you enjoyed and that you were able to take some tips away. Being a lady is expensive, and especially if you identify as being high maintenance, if you like to stay on top of your appearance, make sure you're looking polished, it adds up. So rather than allowing yourself to, just go to the dogs, letting yourself go completely, try seeing if there are areas where you can maybe swap things out or seek out an alternative. I don't think you should have to sacrifice looking good or feeling your best just because maybe you can't afford to shell out $1,000 just on maintenance. Don't let the online world fool you. That's not necessary. There are tons of ways that you can do these things at home. And even YouTube, I think, is a great resource for finding the things that work. With that being said, if you're looking to take a deeper dive into image, mindset, career-based content, I definitely recommend that you visit thechromanetwork.com, which is my online platform. There are tons of articles on there covering different topics. And we're also looking for contributing writers. So if you're interested in writing on any of those topics, any topics I discuss here that you view on the website, you can visit thechromanetwork.com/contribute to share your article idea. There's also the Chroma Radio podcast where I post some solo episodes on these same topics, and I also include interviews with women of color across a variety of industries. So there's tons to dive into if you're looking to learn more and really start focusing on your growth. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.